A couple of weeks ago, the pfSense router that we had running died due to a power issue of some kind. The power supply appears to be fine, but the motherboard is most likely dead, as I did test it in another system. So today we went to Gumtree and had a little look, see what we could find, and we found this lovely Dell PC. It's a small form factor PC. It is a Gen 3 Intel based PC, and it has pretty much all we need to set up a new router and also move some virtualization over from another system into this one. So this appears to be a Dell Optiplex 9010 complete. It contains an AMD graphics card from what we can see, but we're going to check and see what it has inside it properly and see if the ad was correct. We also got, in the deal, a spare motherboard and CPU. We don't actually know what exactly they are, so we're going to investigate that as well. So let's jump in and have a look. So let's just quickly take a look at the outside. It's fairly clean, just a few little juiciness from being used, but other than that, it's fairly good. Do have a lock back here. That's pretty cool. It's metal, so you can't easily break in. And if we spin this around, just quickly show you the back I/O. It has a serial port, which is pretty cool, next to the display ports and USB 3 ports, as well as PS2 keyboard and mouse ports, which is kind of funny seeing them all together. So we'll open up the top and have a look inside. Okay, so we've got the power supply along here. That can't be grabbed out right now because it's screwed in, but I believe some of these components are fairly modular and with a few screws can be removed. So I'll just tilt this up just in case it's a little bit hard to see. As you can see, the big CPU fan that routes the CPU heat. Got power through here. Got a few SATA connectors going from the DVD writer to the hard drive and the motherboard. And what I might do, so I'm just gonna quickly look, see what kind of board this is. It's actually quite hard to see, but it's potentially an Intel board. Might need to take the heatsink off to properly see that. What I might do first is have a look and see. I don't actually know how this comes off. It may, oh no, it just flips out. There we go. And we can have a look at this card. Now we do know this boots. It has Plex on it currently. So I'm just going to pull this card out, have a look at what kind of GPU it is. So nothing on the back. On the front, it's a Radeon of some description. We may need to check it out properly when we open it up properly. Other than that, we have two PCI Express slots. They look like they're fully 16X. Yeah, it doesn't quite say though. It's a Dell branded motherboard by the looks. So who knows what that means. And yeah, it's all in place, all good from what I can tell. So we've got the graphics card out sitting there. We'll have a little look, see if we can remove this and yeah, have a closer look inside. So we'll just unplug the power ATA cable, if it'll come out easily. Serial ATA is out. And power is out too. the small power cable, SATA power cable, and this should, in theory, flip up. But, yep, there we go. So out and back. Oh, that's shining. So, April 2013 DVD drive. Perfect. Put that to the side. And let's just see if this caddy just pulls out. It looks like it does. I'll just unplug everything else. So that's the SATA for the drive. And it looks like the drive uses a Molex connector. Oh no, that is a SATA plug. That's good. So I think this will just pull upwards. It's caught underneath a few things. There we go. Okay, so it's got a Seagate Barracuda 500 gig drive. And I think that's all it can hold by the looks. One 3.5 inch drive. So I'll put that to the side as well. And we have access to the RAM, so just move that out of the way. And it appears to have a dual DDR set of ports. So this is 4 gigs of DDR3 RAM. I don't know the speed, I'm not too sure of that. It's 1200U, I don't think that's the speed. Nope, not easy to tell on that. But I believe I think it might be low voltage RAM, that looks. And I'll put that to the side as well. Check, see what this one is. It's probably the same. Hopefully it is. Yep, looks like that's the same. DDR3, 4 gigabytes. Okay, so I'll have a go at taking off the heatsink. It appears to just be 4 screws holding it down. Keep in mind I've never taken a machine like this apart properly, so this will be interesting. Okay, it appears to be either screwed in or held in place some way. I'll just check the screws. There we go, and this pulls out this one. We're caught, but we're free now. There we go. Oh, juicy, look at that, that's lovely. And just move it down slightly just to see the dust. So this will need to be cleaned, definitely. That's a lot of juice there. And we've got our CPU. So it might be a bit hard to see, so I might clean that in a second, but I'll just unclip and open it up. There we go. It's a bit difficult to grab this one. I think I can grab it here, yep. So here we are, I've just done a quick tissue clean. It's a 3770, 3.4 gigahertz, and nothing much more to see. Got the USB 3 rather, connector going to the front of the board. And of course it is a Gen 3 board. Yeah, so now what we'll do is we'll move on, have a look at the graphics card. So we're back to the GPU again. Just another quick look. Looks like the current AMD logo, so Should be a fairly newish card. It's PCI Express. But other than that, no idea what it is. So we're going to open it up. Oh, it actually says ATI on the back, that's interesting. So we'll take this heatsink off, have a look at the GPU, and see if we can identify it. Okay, so we've done a quick cleanup of the GPU die. Not a whole lot could be gleaned from the numbers on there, but we did put in the part number on the back, the ATI number here, and we believe it's quite possibly a Radeon 7570 1GB card. But we'll just have to wait until we boot it up and have a look. So the Dell was 150. This was an extra 50, so we decided to pick it up. It's a motherboard and CPU with the CPU cooler. It appears to be a Intel board of some kind, possibly at the same generation, but there's not too much on here to indicate which one it is. It does have USB 3, so it must be more than Gen 2, I believe. And it does have a bunch of SATA ports, which I think is an indication of sort of the generational differences. So what I'll do is I'll jump in and have a look at the CPU. We should be able to glean from that what this is. Okay, so here is the CPU cooler off. And we'll look at the CPU itself. So it looks like an Intel Core i5 4750 at, what is that? 3.2 gigahertz. So it's a newer board than we thought. So that should be good. So we did some searching on the board and the CPU. So the board itself is fairly standard Intel board. Got the usual, basically what we expected, one 16 times PCI Express slot. The ports on the back, USB 3, SATA 3, 6 gigabit. That's all fairly expected. Dual channel RAM, 1333, 1600 RAM, and 2 standard PCI ports. The CPU itself has a Intel 4600 GPU inside it. It's 3.2 to 3.6 boost in gigahertz. And the CPU itself has 4 cores, no hyperthreading. So, and being a Gen 4 CPU, it has AVX and AVX2 available. It's got 1080p, 8 gigs of RAM-ish. We've got 500 gig hard drive, which I believe was supposed to be right. AMD. And there we go. i7 3770 at 3.4 gigahertz. Running perfectly.
Unlike the motherboard.
Unlike the motherboard.
Oh,
Sign 50 seconds.
that's not good.
1, 2, 3, 8.